This time from Topnotcher.ph. This is an article from Driven Cueva, published last May 14, 2021. It's about how to pass the Neuro-Psychiatric examination. So now let's get on. What is a Neuro-Psychiatric examination? This examination tests the mental stability, adaptability, and psychological functioning of applicants before they are being recruited into service. So it tests our mental ability. Our adaptability, it's how we adapt or how we change ourselves to a certain environment, and psychological behavior before being recruited into service. The purpose of the exam is to filter applicants if they are really suitable for the uniformed services of the government. It is one of the most decisive parts of the recruitment process in the PNP, BFP, BJMP, BuCOR, and all the branches of the AFP, Navy, Marines, Infantry, Air Force, including Coast Guard. In fact, only 25% of the applicants pass the Neuro-Psychiatric exam, making it the most dreaded part of the application process. That's the dreaded part of the application process. It's the Neuro-Psychiatric examination. The Neuro-Psychiatric exam is comprised of two parts, written and the personal interview. It includes 35 item aptitude, that is the adaptation. This aptitude is already the IQ test. Adaptation test, the Guilford-Zimmerman temperament survey, measuring our temperament. Applicant risk profiler, the industrial sentence completion test, work environment preference. So this is a situation reaction during the work. Hand test and the drawing. Sounds scary, right? Well, here are some tips and pieces of advice to help pass this crucial part of the application. So let's study these tips. Again, before going to these tips, let us be aware of the coverage. First, the adaptation test. It tests already our IQ. The Guilford-Zimmerman temperament test, it tests our patience, the temperament, how long we can hold our emotions, how long we can prevent ourselves from being emotional, getting angry. Applicant risk profiler, the industrial sentence completion, yes. Work environment preference, so it talks about how we deal, in the workplace. Hand test, and the drawing of a person, male and female. So these are now the tips. 6 important tips to pass the Neuro-Psychiatric exam. To help you succeed in passing the Neuro-Psychiatric exam, we recommend a book. So they are recommending this kind of book, available on Shopee. Are you still searching for ways on how to successfully hurdle this important part of your application? So check these important tips on how to pass the Neuro-Psychiatric exam like a boss. Now, the very first is follow instructions. In every exam, following the instructions is as important as knowing the right answer to every question. So follow instructions. If the instruction says that should shade the letter of your answer, shade it. Right? If the instruction states that write the letter of your answer, write it. Knowing how to follow instructions is a good indicator that you will be a good policeman, fireman, jail officer, or soldier, as these services require utmost compliance to instructions. When you are told to write your name in black capitals, do it exactly as you are told. So all capital letters for your numbers. If not, if there is no instruction of, if otherwise there is no instruction, so do not. So first is to follow instructions. That is very important. Read the directions because those are the instructions. Next, manage your time during the exam. Yes, as they have said, this exam is time pressured. Like what I've said earlier, the aptitude, or what we know called the IQ test, is composed of 35 questions. So if you want to practice or improve your IQ test, you can check the channel, the previous videos I made in order to improve IQ. So this is now the aptitude or IQ test, 35 questions. You have to answer all these questions in only 15 minutes. So 35 questions for only 15 minutes. So more or less than a minute for one item. For one question, you will just only spend less than 1 minute. That means you only have 2 minutes to answer each question. 2 minutes, but I preferred to have less than a minute to answer those items. Less than a minute, so practice already at this very moment. The proctors are strict regarding the time limit, so never think that they will give you a time extension. The trick is to answer the easy questions first, then go back to difficult items in case you have still time. You have still have time. This way, you can maximize the time and increase your chances of completing the test. So, if you have encountered numbers or problems, skip it first. Skip and go back to it. Go, if you think, answer those questions with lesser sentences. Go for it, answer it first before going to problems like mathematics. You need to compute, so skip it. Go to the easiest and just go back to those mathematic items, large sentences, stories. Just skip it first. Skip and then just go back. Next, number 3. Be consistent with your answer. So this is very important. Be consistent when it comes with in temperament test, work environment preference. This is very important. Let's be consistent. Be mindful of your answers in every question of the exam. Always remember your answer in a particular question. Yes, always remember your answer in a particular question because you will be asked similar and related questions in the next following items. You have to be always consistent with your answers. Inconsistent answers may indicate that you are untruthful and just telling lies. So, as always, be mindful of the questions. Be mindful of your answers to that, because there will be similar and related questions that will be asked. Next, learn how to draw. So at this very moment, practice already to draw man and female, and a lot of videos in YouTube giving tips and guides on how to draw a man and women for this neuropsychiatric examination. Learn how to draw. When I say learn how to draw, it does not mean you have to be like Michelangelo, yes, or Da Vinci. If you are told to draw people, do not draw sticks. Yes, do not draw sticks, because if you will draw sticks, the maturity is not yet developed. Draw people with complete parts like ears, eyes, ears, fingers, and the like. So, draw like the draw the reality. Draw people as you see people with complete eyes, 2 ears, nose, mouth, hair. The head is not big. The body. Then 5 fingers. Always draw 5 fingers in the hands and in the feet. Draw them with happy faces. Draw them with happy faces. Make evident distinctions between males and females. Yes, there must be a distinction between male and female. Example: mustache for males and long hair for females. Pants for male, dress for female. Next, After that, you describe each drawing or make a story of it in 4 to 5 sentences. It is very important that describe. It's a description here. Describe the drawing. Describe a man. Man is hardworking, fatherly, working for the family, and then mother is caring children, motherly, caring, loving. Yes, some of the concepts included here are tricky, and everything being drawn could mean something to the psychologist. Therefore, be careful. So let's be detailed in drawing, and do not anymore add any accessories like earrings, watch. No, do not anymore necklace. Do not add those. Only draw the way they are in being simple. Hone your English skills. So develop your English completion, grammar. Sometimes the exam may include essay exercises, sentence arrangement, story arrangement. The purpose is to evaluate the incident reporting skills of the applicant. So it's because officers will be doing incidental reports, complaints, gather information, description, describing. Practice your English writing skills. Yes. And be precise and pay attention to grammar rules. Yes, the grammar, sentence, subject verb agreement. When will you use is, are, verbs with s, verbs without s, these, when will you use that, because those are important. Sentence completion, the appropriate word, synonyms, antonyms, all those English. And arrangement of a story. If you want to develop your English, you can watch previous videos I made to develop your English skills. Next, this is the last tip. Prepare for the interview. The final part of the exam is the one-on-one interview with a psychologist to assess how you will present yourself under pressure. Yes. If you're under pressure, always take note that you need to master the calmness. Calm. Don't show your emotion. Don't be angry. Don't be angry. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be scary. Relax. Calm. No emotions. Ready to accept pressures. Answer all the questions with consistency and fluency. Being consistent. Do not make unnecessary body and hand movements or gestures during the exam. So just firm, relax, practice yourself in a mirror while talking, describing yourself. Do not make unnecessary movement. Hands just only in side, just only side of your body, your hands, and no movement or gestures during the interview. And be snappy and stand firm when talking. Lastly, always be humble. So talk with humility. Talk with humility. Talk with conviction. Talk with conviction because that is you. And always be humble. To wrap it up from this article made by my Draven, the Neuro-Psychiatric test wants to know if you have a mindset of an average person. Do not pretend that you are an extraordinary one and just be yourself. Yes, you are not an extraordinary man, just be yourself. Be consistent in your answers. Bring out the good in yourself. So do not talk against yourself. And do not show your violence in words. Talk with conviction. Talk politely the way I am talking right now. Be humble. If you have achievements, talk it with humility, without bragging. Be consistent with your answers. Bring out good in yourself and do not show any violence in words. Yes, do not talk about the bad experiences. Do not talk anymore your reactions, your emotions. Do not. Just answer the question directly. And I will be making videos that will help us what are those possible questions and what are those possible answers that we may give during the interview. Lastly, never leave anything unanswered. So whenever you are asked, answer it. Yes or no, give your reason. Yes, then what's your reason? 1 to 2 sentences, that's enough. Do not anymore elaborate, except if you are being asked to expound your answer. That's the time you elaborate. Never leave anything unanswered. Those unanswered questions might determine the result of the neuropsych. Either you are recommended or not recommended. So whenever you are asked, when there are questions in the aptitude test or IQ test, answer it whether wrong or right. Just answer it, because unanswered or no answered questions or no answered questions, it will determine the result of our neuropsychologist or neuropsychiatric, whether we are recommended or not recommended. So good luck, may the odds be in your favor. That's all for how to pass the neuropsychiatric examination.